We're on to map number 2. Push. So, Push is a new mode in Overwatch 2. It was a bit bemoaned at the beginning because it was hard to figure out. And now that a lot of players have figured it out, it's equally bemoaned because it can go really quickly and just kind of blink by you. When you look at the map, you start at a spawn point, and there's this winding staircase that creates challenges for some teams, but that'll come later in the map. You'll come down here to this long straightaway, giant sight lines, perfect for Hanzo. Actually, before this fight starts, yeah, perfect for Hanzo, Maysickles, Widowmakers. So let's check out this team composition. Orissa's a good pick, with that long projectile that can go the full length of the map. Bastion's effective here. Sojourn has always been highly playable. Sometimes she's not the peak meta, and with the skill bracket of this team, she might not be the most meta, but she's a great character for damage dealing. And then Moira and Lucio. Let's see how this rolls. So, enemy team in Doomfist is already on point, and honestly, that's okay. But with this Bastion, oh no, oh no. So, Bastion is way up here with a Doomfist in his face, and a Hanzo plinking shots down, and a Baptiste plinking shots down, and Moira's too far away to help. Lucio's too far away to help, and Orisa could get there, but Bastion's in a very vulnerable spot right now. Oh, cool. Brought it back. Yeah, see, and as much as you don't want to get punched, letting the tank take that punch first is much better. Yeah, Spear Spin's great for controlling Doomfist out of the way. Dropped him. Got some Genji harassment going on over here on the side. Can we finish him? He's won. Way to go, guys. Right, Lucio getting some heal up while we're waiting. So, fun thing about Lucio stats. Depending on what part of the skill ladder you play Lucio in, a lot of players expect different things from Lucio's. Based on what I'm seeing right now, a lot of people in this bracket are going to expect Lucio to heal more. However, in terms of turning a team fight, his speed is going to be more effective. So really, as much as safely possible, you want to use your speed. Because, like, for example, that Pharah barrage, if it'll take you 2 seconds to walk out of the barrage, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, the barrage will kill you. No amount of healing per second is going to fix that. However, if you turn on the Lucio speed, and you still have that speed boost, and 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi is now 1 Mississippi gone, that's enough time to get away from the barrage. That'll save your team, more than magically healing them up. Excuse me. Now, that said, when your team is taking chunk damage or spam damage, turn on the heals, or you might have to healing boost to keep your team up through minor damage, or like a Moira orb that goes through the whole team. You don't just want to leave that damage there. But you want to look at ways to get value by activating that speed boost.
This is your
Alright. Uh-oh. Our Lucio... Oh, our supports are right there in the middle of the fight. It's technically a 3-on-3. Uh-oh, run away, run away. Nice slide there, Sojourn. Oh. Right, Lucio goes into the wall. At that point, it's no longer an even fight. I would run away. I would power slide, fade. No. Yep, here comes the trickle. Yep. So we already lost 1 person. We shouldn't be engaging this fight. This fight, all this right here, shouldn't exist, because we're going to lose it. They have all 5 people. We only had 3 at the start of it. And Orisa did their best, but Orisa 3v5 probably isn't going to win it. So, run away. Oh no, we're still trickling. So yeah, run away. Let's get all 5. 1, 2, 3. We're getting there. 4 and 5. Okay, we got everyone back. Good job, guys. And I can't bemoan trickling too hard because sometimes it was a 3v3 fight. It was a back and forth, and sometimes you get too close and they catch you out. But definitely want to try to get back. Uh-oh. Okay, so they used 2 ultimates. It's now a 3v5. I wouldn't run into this. Oh. But I wouldn't say we have to run away from it. This part, now that we're in the thick of it, this is something we got to run from. Because we're not going to get any value from this. Yep. That was a 3v5 and a 3v1 and a 2v1. Unless we're hitting awesome like Widow flick shots and things like that, we're probably not going to pull those out. So now comes the staircase. This is a really defensible position, especially if you just lost a couple team fights and are coming back. What you want to focus on is definitely controlling this long sight line. Orisa and Bastion are really good for that. It's honestly one of the things I like about the Coliseum map is that once you get through the stairwell, it's a sight line control. Okay, that's a weird play from Doomfist. Not sure what he was going for there, but way to hold your own in the back line. Okay. So my apologies. I do have to kind of double talk here. I was talking earlier about engaging together, but I also did say in my defense that you don't want to run in all together. Based on our spacing right now, if Pharah hits a rocket right here, she's going to damage both these folks. Let's see, if Bastion and Moira get just a little bit closer, the Pharah rocket could hit all 5 people on the team for a total of 500 damage all at once. So when you're playing into spam damage like Pharah rockets or Junkrat grenades, I would spread out a little more. You don't want to like just run away from your team and not play together, but you don't want to stack on top of each other so a single bomb could hit more than 1, maybe 2 people.
Justice reigns from above.
Oh man, yeah. Oh, bummer. Okay, so that was a valiant effort. Unfortunately, the other team had already used 2 ultimates to wipe, I think it was 3 or 4 of the team members, and at that point it was, let's just say it was 2 people to 5 people. There are rare occasions where an ultimate can flip the board back. In competitive Overwatch, they call it clutching, where you're undermanned, like 2v5 or 4v5, but you play well enough to win against that disadvantage. In a case like that, where it's a lone Orisa, unless it's like a sneak attack, it's not likely to work. I've seen it come from like DPS or tanks where are they? And they just like jump around a corner and surprise the whole team with an ultimate. That can work really well, but you basically want to use your ultimates when you have enough team support to complete them. So, but the good news is we got the bot back across this middle checkpoint, which means they don't have forward spawn anymore. So if we can get to this checkpoint, we can stop them from getting that advantage again. But it looks like they're going to get it. Maybe. They stopped pushing the robot. Okay, so yeah, they got forward spawn again. Alright. Oh, so with Moira, okay, so you want to get away from that? Don't, yeah. That Doomfist, he's playing really well, and part of it is that we're not countering his mobility. Orisa does well because she can pop her fortify. That spear was right on point. I probably would have held the spear spin until you hear it charge up. Okay, so Moira's doing the dance around the payload, using the payload for cover. Well done. Let's see, Lucio's gonna dance on it. 2v4, this with the National. So we got 2 ults to hold. We're trying, we're going for it. 3 of our ults to hold it. With that Pharah. Yep. And admittedly, Pels on the Pharah has been playing well all game. So there is that there is that clear factor of hero and character skill. My guess is that Pels has probably played the game more than we have, or has invested more skill development in that, which is okay. That's going to happen. But so for push, a couple things that I just want to kind of go over. If I can find, actually, I'm not going to worry about the actual team fight here in a second. But looking at the map, so let's see how high up I can get. If you haven't seen these reviews before, I get a little distracted with all the map geometry. Like, that looks like a Lucio ball map. Anyway, I'm back. So you start over here in these 2 buildings, and you have a long sight line. If you come down here to this archway, you can see straight, no mouse, all the way over to here. Oh, until I run through the wall. But it's a very long sight line. And then same thing here from this checkpoint, whether you're down here on the bottom, or if you come up to the bridge, you've got some really long sight lines. Another fun one that I really enjoy, if I'm in an Ashe or Widowmaker mood, using this, it gives you tons of sight control. Not as much over here, but a lot right after that first team fight. So this is the map where you want to use long sight line heroes, and it's a skill that folks have to develop. As a tank, I've played hundreds of hours of Reinhardt. He's not as good on this map because aside from his fire strikes, he doesn't have a lot of long range potential. Lately, I've been investing in Zarya a lot. She doesn't really have the long range potential. I've had to get better with Orisa and Ramatra to feel comfortable on this map. Sometimes I'll use Winston to block the sight line, but usually it's one of those 2 heroes so I can apply pressure all the way across the map. It's the same thing on the support line. Lucio's a great hero. This is a map where you're going to want a hero that has a much longer range projection. So Ana, Zenyatta, Baptiste, Iliari can damage from distance, but she can't support from distance. But depending on where your team's going, that could be just fine. And then same thing in the DPS category. Expanding out and finding heroes that work with, because when you get down here, like, you can park a Hanzo or a Widowmaker right here on the corner. And let me find this point on the map. Again, no mouse. You can see straight all the way down to here. Okay, I had to move it a little bit there at the end. But there's lots of room for the straight sight lines. That's why the Pharah pick towards the end on their team was really effective, because you can shoot a Pharah rocket all the way, bing, down to the back line. So looking at different expanded hero pools to help with push maps like that. And then utilizing ultimates effectively. Towards the end, we used a lot of them to try to pull out that fight. It didn't go our way. That happens. But make sure that you're using them in a way that will either save your team, that will, or will unsave their team, and target key focuses. Almost always focus the supports. Support players are known for getting a little sensitive when they get solo ulted, but a solo ult is value. If you can press one button, Q, and remove a player from their team, that's a definite advantage. And then likewise on their team, if they're going after our supports, if they could press one button and take one of our players out, that's an advantage for them. And so I think those are some healthy things to start with on push. I'm going to unpause this, and then I need to take a quick break, and then I'll jump into the third map.